Hello, welcome back to the Neurospiritual Awakening podcast with Dr. Val. And today I have an incredible woman on the show. This is our take two, just because we recorded the first thing during Mercury retrograde and that went to absolute, I'm not going to say the word, but you can guess it. So here we are again, and I'm excited because I get to talk to you again so soon. So, Dr. Tarshini, welcome to the show. Thank you so much. Please introduce yourself.
Thank you so much, Val. It's so nice to be here. Tharshini. I've been a traditional Chinese medicine doctor for about 9.5 years. I specialize in sort of fertility, gynecological issues, acupuncture, integrative pelvic health and breath flow. And then I take women through light language sound healings through their womb.
Incredible, just incredible. And I am one of those women. I have benefited from your gifts directly. And, you're amazing. And it made a big difference to me, like phenomenal. So just thank you for that. And, I'm thrilled that's what you're doing with other women. And it's such a great service to humanity.
Oh, thank you. That's so lovely for you to say that.
Of course, it's real, it's true. Okay, first question. Can you please walk us through? I know you've done this a million times. I've seen it on your socials, but just walk us through your awakening process. What happened? How did it, what actually happened? How did it happen? And I imagine because you started as a, like an alternative practitioner, you're not in the Western medical model to start with, like I was. But nonetheless, like it was vastly different how you were before that awakening and after.
Yeah, so as a doctor of traditional Chinese medicine, I had already been practicing with patients Reiki with some of my acupuncture sessions. And so I was already introducing a little bit of that healing modality into it. And then, after my spiritual awakening, it obviously took it to another level. And it was very interesting. I had been doing quite a lot of internal work as well. And as I was growing deeper into my own self-discovery and healing of my own personal trauma around sexual abuse from my dad when I was really little, and a lot of violence that I had, gone through growing up being Sri Lankan as a woman in my culture, it actually took me and propelled me into going into deeper into my womb space. And as I was sort of doing that with the healing of patients, I was seeing so much trauma coming up in that area. And I had a beautiful friend of mine at the time who said to me, your guides want to start downloading information into your field. Stop studying. Like, they can actually do this, but they need your permission. And I just thought, wow, like, what? Is this really true? And so she said, go meditate and just say that you're ready for the download. And so I did. I said, I'm ready for the download. And within about 5 minutes, my hands automatically started like drawing all of these symbols in the air. And I started tapping into different parts of my brain, and I was physically pulling it into my third eye. And I saw myself first in Egypt doing sound healings through the pyramids, helping heal the body. Then I saw myself in Africa as the medicine woman, and I was the healer of the tribe. And then I saw myself back in Atlantis, where I could manipulate cells through sound. So I then came back into my body. I started saying hundreds of affirmations, but it was rewiring my body. I could feel it. I was believing these affirmations. And then my breath fully dropped, and I started to see myself as like a speck in the universe, yet connected to everything. And in that moment, it humbled me. It showed me that I'm just here to serve and nothing else really matters. And this cosmic energy sort of came through me like the Kundalini, almost waking me up. And then I started my tongue started moving back and forth. And then I started spitting out all these languages. So I started speaking 10 different light languages pretty instantly. And I was coding as well. I was doing signing pretty much straight away. And I was writing straight away as well. So it was quite phenomenal.
Wow. I mean, it is phenomenal. It literally, it's phenomenal. I'll just repeat what you said because I'm blown away by what you just said and like the different past lives or maybe parallel lives. I don't know how we view them. What is time, right? Um, and the
Yeah.
brain stuff as well, I can relate to as a neuroscientist, obviously, because you do rewire yourself. And it's, as you say, it's not just regurgitating like, today I feel great. Not that kind of, it's when you actually feel it at the core of your being, when it actually becomes your reality, you know? Um, wow, just incredible. And I wanted to ask you about the light languages, because I, for myself, have heard like, and hopefully this relate, other people can relate, but I've heard like, let's say good, I know it's very dualistic to say this, but it's like good and bad. I've heard like, don't listen to light language. People are channeling, they don't know who they're channeling. It might be bad for you. Versus I've had obviously my experience with you and with another practitioner who I found it was life altering, so how can you, what about that? If you could just elaborate, because it really is your area of expertise. I know nothing of it other than those two experiences.
Of course. I mean, light language is a frequency, so we do have to be careful around who's channeling it. Are they in a, really balanced body where they're rooted in themselves? Because a lot of the time I find when we're channeling light languages, our base chakras really need to be foundationally strong. This is about us bringing it through the body. And a lot of the time, a lot of spiritual healers work on the upper chakras, which is great, it connects us to the universe, but it has sometimes can affect the frequency. And that's why I find a lot of people feeling unbalanced, ungrounded. Their stability is rocked in their body. And when you listen to light language, it should be elevating. So you should feel a natural sensation of home or love or resonance in the body. When you feel scared when you're listening to light language and it's pulling up a lot of like fear, then it may not be the right frequency for you. So it really depends. And when I do light languages, I'm actually connecting to your body, to your guides, and I'm actually working with them to pull in the specific frequency that I need to remove or move a trauma out of the body or rewire the body in a certain way. So
Mm.
it's about you really listening to your intuition around who you go to as a practitioner. And I think for me, I'm really grateful because I've been a practitioner since I was pretty much in my 20s and I'm 40 years old now. So I have a lot of extensive experience working with people and how they resonate to certain things that move through their body. So I really am a gentle practitioner working on that mind, body, and spirit level.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much. And it's so important. And it's exactly what the lady that I spoke to before you, who I actually had on the podcast, like the last guest I had was her, and now it's you, and you are the two people that I have had the light language sessions with, right? And it's exactly the same thing. She was saying it's all about like you've got to be in your body. You've literally got to embody everything. Otherwise, you're like untethered. I think that's the language that she used, and that's what I hear in what you're saying as well, in terms of
Yeah.
yeah, light language healing.
Yeah. And it is really like it is a frequency. So it's kind of like a radio station. You go up a notch, it can completely change the vibration of things. And the darkness can come through in that as well. So it's about you just being conscious of that and really feeling it in your body because it bypasses the brain. So I think if you get too much in your head, you're not going to actually experience light language because it's really the language of the soul.
Mm. So beautiful. And what a gift. Yeah, what a gift. Just, to have received that on like for you as a human being living now and then giving it to others. It's a great gift. Yeah. Yeah.
I think it comes with a lot of responsibility as well. I think a lot of people in the past are like, you're so lucky you've had an awakening like this. But I think people don't realize the level of work I've done to get to this place internally,
Mm.
outside of what I've done for patients. It's this really self-reflective, deep understanding of the self and my ability to be able to move through a lot of the trauma that I've experienced in my childhood to my lineage and my ancestry healing that I've really done that's allowed me to hold or carry this level of responsibility with light language and what I'm here to do for patients.
Mm. So great that you mentioned that also. It is very important, and I salute you for it, for the lack of a better expression. And It is. It's important because I do like we do see people nowadays, offering like ancestral healing, this and that, all the right terminology. But then when you look at them living their own life, it's like there's a discrepancy or a mismatch, and that's not, I wouldn't want to get a healing from that kind of person, let's just say. You know? Yeah.
Yes, embodiment, right? Like how much are we embodying our work? I walk and talk my what I do. And it's actually not even for anyone else. It's for myself because for me it's about truly being balanced and healing myself, and which makes me a really happy person. So I'm doing it for within me and I'm always learning, always growing. And I think if you can really go deep within yourself, like all of the answers are there. And I've been able to journey so deeply within my own womb space that's helped me guide a lot of the processes that I take patients through. It was through my own womb. So it's really powerful. And I think we forget the simpleness of it. And for me, it's about teaching patients that you don't need to go to everyone else. This is about you discovering your own power, that you're the teacher, you're the healer, you are the doctor of your life. And so I'm just here to open a little dimension within you so that you remember what's already sitting inside you. So
Mm.
it's about you reclaiming that power within you. I don't want people to lose their power by giving it to me and saying, I'm the healer or I'm the doctor. It's not supposed to be this way.
Mm. Yeah. No, that fully resonates. Let's talk about the womb. Let's talk about the womb and just tell me more because I know you talk about it a lot more than I do. I talk about the brain a lot, a lot, but the womb is like this whole other portal. And you said to me, I remember at the end of our session, like you said, your business ideas will come from your womb and that like the creative space of your being. And it's like, I don't remember when we had the session, but I've created a lot of stuff around, but like including starting this podcast after that. So I'm like, you know what? I think she was right. There's this like portal of creativity that just won't stop creating. So just tell us more about it because it fascinates me.
Yeah, it was very interesting. So when I had my spiritual awakening and that portal was opening to a really high level, there was a whole restructure of my body happening. So I had like this Cherokee guide, an Arcturian guide, an avatar, a blue avatar guide, and a Lemurian guide working through my field. And my body, they were all psychic surgeons. And so there was psychic surgery going on in my womb space and in my field. So there was the deep purging of my cellular DNA happening. And as my body was getting more crystallized, I could see all this trauma that needed healing. And it was an intense process. I had to really go inwards. I saw, deaths of babies from previous lives where I've had stillbirths. And I experienced it. I had my womb contracting and I'd be crying, screaming. I could see the soul in my hand. And I had to keep discovering what was the message of this? What was the message of that life? What did I need healing with? And actually, ultimately, what it was so sort of showing me is as much as there can be trauma and death inside the womb, at the same level, there's like this beautiful light and gift and transformation at the equal measure of that. And it was just showing me that I can transcend this trauma with a lot more ease than what I think it is. Because we think of the womb, we think, oh my God, we've got gynecological problems, got fertility issues, we've got ancestry trauma here. But there's this beautiful space where it connects us to the mother's love, Kali's energy, Isis's energy, Mother Magdalene's energy. And I was feeling that with every breath that I felt pain, I felt their presence with me and I was crying with them and I was held and supported by her. And so she was really instilling in me this level of home that I had forgotten. The womb is our first home. This is a place that we're birthed from. She's our origin when it comes to the first book of knowledge that was created. It wasn't through Google or YouTube or even a physical book. She was the origin. And so when we tune down into her, she becomes like our compass, our guide, our teacher. She becomes this access point to the stars and the cosmos, and as well as Mother Earth. there's this beautiful pulse that can start to pulse through your womb where you can feel the grounding and the rootedness of the soil of the land that allows all women to be able to walk upon this earth with this feeling of safety, which is what we're lacking a lot of the time. We're feeling not safe in life, safe in our body, safe in the decisions that we have to make. And there's this beautiful infrastructure of stability sitting in your pelvic bones, your hips. And it's discovering how do we activate that again. So I went through this process of drawing all of these symbols that were, coming into my third eye. And at the time, I had drawn them like now it's almost 6 years ago. And I've only really released it in the last year through my workshops because it was still too advanced. I didn't know how to fully explain it to people as it was emitting these frequencies. And then along the way, I was able to do integrative pelvic health and breath flow and bring this really yin, gentle quality to what I was teaching. And then take women into this shamanic healing where a lot of the light languages that were coming through for me were indigenous. And what I was connecting with was there was these portals that I would go through where I was connected to all of the elders, all of the indigenous elders, where I worked with the land and I was able to bring through cosmic light language into these lands where I was merging with their energies and talking to them through nature. And
Mm,
so that's why in the beginning, a lot of the womb clearings were this deep, strong, warrior-like energy where women could rediscover the power through their legs, their feet, their hips, their womb, and let that rise up through their body once they understood how strong this pull is through the base. As that rises into the heart will blossom like the branches of the trees. The roots, the trunk is the womb. And then the crown could open fully to the cosmos. So there's this beautiful understanding of how life moves through the body in this way.
mm. I was just visualizing it when you were speaking. It's such a beautiful visual and also in the 3D, like here we are and there's this opportunity to go outside even and stand on Mother Earth, as you say. And I found that very healing for me. I've literally gotten over infections and colds and stuff like that by planting my feet into the ground. It's so,
Yeah.
so powerful.
I mean, the
Mm,
earth chakra in Sanskrit means daughter of the earth.
mm,
Why is it a chakra named for women? It's because Mother Earth knew the portal that was connected to us through the womb. This is why we used to pour our pure blood to the land.
mm,
All blood that's been sacrificed on this earth has come from brutality. It's come from war. It's come from pain. And so here, women's blood, their period blood was connected to this portal where it was just wisdom, knowledge, nutrients, life force, stem cells that regenerated the earth, that would give back to the earth. And it was this remembrance, oh my goodness, Mother Earth gives to us and we can give back to her. So it's this, how do we connect to the earth? I mean, sometimes I like to even lie down and place my womb on the earth. So face down and breathe down from my womb into the earth and breathe it back up into my heart space. So it's just, we can use the earth in so many ways.
mm. I love how hands-on like what you're saying is. You have so many applications. It's like it's very as much as it is spiritual and about things that we cannot see, but it's very applicable to to our
Mm.
physicality, which is what I love because, my passion is to connect neuroscience and spirituality and kind of merge the two. And what you're saying resonates because I can see the two connect. Yeah.
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 Mother
And
Earth just, yeah.
no, no, go ahead.
No, No, and I was just saying that, Mother Earth also wants her daughters to play and dance and move. There's this whole thing around the masculine energy where we think that, when we move into spirituality, it's this stripping down of our ego when there's no more desire and there's no more, we shave our heads or, you see people go out into the jungle and so forth. But for women, it was very different. For us to access our Shakti, our creative life force, it was through creative arts. It was through drawing mantras. It was through singing. It was through moving our hips. And I've seen this. I've seen, Isis showing me the codes through every little hip joint that would pop out and that would be activated through the field of a woman, like cosmic energy flowing through her hips, being this portal. And we've forgotten how to move our hips and dance as a simple way of gently healing our
Mm.
trauma stuck in our body, you know?
Yes.
So we've got to come back to this simpleness. It's simple, actually. It's not so difficult and it's beautiful. It becomes like this beauty, this desire, this connection to this pleasurable energy that is not about stripping away our pleasure. It's actually harnessing it and feeling it.
Mm. Wow, and it's so in line with the 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 age that we live in terms of like numerologically. I'm really I'm into numerology. I've said this to you before and to all my listeners so many times now. So I think people are like, okay, we get it. But you know, we're in the 2000s now, okay? The 1000s are, which is the one energy, the masculine energy, like the one stands alone, leads the way, paves the way. That's done now. We're in the 2000s, and two is the energy of love, support. It's like the divine feminine energy. So it just makes sense that that's what's happening, that's what's arising right now. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
And and it's not about like this. I think sometimes we get really caught up in, okay, we've got to be in our feminine and, I'm too my masculine. And there's this whole movement around this, which can make women feel even more stressed out and more not in alignment. And for me, it's about, yes, there is truth to this, but for me, it's about just bringing the simpleness of like reconnect to the earth, reconnect to your period blood, reconnect to your womb, because that's your home. Everything that you're feeling outside of yourself, if you just go inwards to this sacred space, you can rewrite your whole life through this one portal
Mm,
as it opens up into your heart, as it opens up into your throat. So it's just like listening to her, remembering that your womb is your first original primal voice. And when you ask her specific questions, the answer will be instant. Like when I get women to go, okay, what vegetable do you need today? What color does she want you to wear? What word does she want you to focus on? It comes up like straight
mm.
away. And they'll say to me, oh my gosh, that was really instant. And I'm like, that's just how it is. Like that is the intuition of a woman. Like it is that simple. And we make it complicated by thinking that we need to dissect everything through the brain. And here there's just another wisdom in your body speaking to you all the time.
Yes, yes. And I've firsthand experienced this and continue to experience it on the daily where, I am very cerebral, of course, being a neuroscientist, but then consciously consciously marrying the intuition with the science has literally pulled for being in my intuitive a lot more, and I found it just not better, but just like a whole other world, a whole other world. The kind of things I get up to, conversations I get to have, people, my interactions with people, just my own space just shifts drastically when I pull from the intuitive side versus, okay, let's do this. Well, show me the numbers, kind of that vibe. Yeah, they're different spaces. Not one's not better than the other, but they're just very distinct. And I love exploring in both arenas. Yeah, but definitely more into my in the intuitive world a lot more lately, and I've just loved it. Yeah.
Yeah, and look, the brain is definitely involved in all of this, processes as we're connecting to the body. It's just that we don't want to get wrapped up in the repetitive thoughts of it. So if we can just go into the first thought that comes through, that's usually the right one. So just simplifying everything and really like searching deep within, like sometimes as well, it's like you just connecting to your period blood during your menstrual cycle is a really great portal because the veil between your right hemisphere of your brain is really thin during that time. So you can access a lot more information than any other time.
Mm.
And I find that when I do yoga on just like 2 days before my bleed or even the first day during my bleed, I find myself in yoga class completely speaking to my womb. She's just talking, 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 showing me, telling me so much information and telling me like all this sacred knowledge. And I get super excited when I can access that. So it's really cool. It's like you're, listening and watching a movie within yourself.
Yeah. Wow. Wow. So much wisdom. I love re-listening to my episodes because I'm just like, when you're in the moment, so much gets said and created that after I'm like, okay, I need to re-listen to this over and over again just to get the like to get something new every time because everything you've said is just so, yeah, valuable and gold. So I'm excited. I'm excited.
Oh.
Well, any last words of wisdom, so to speak? I know last time when we attempted this, you did this like cool figure eight thing, anything like that, and of course about your incredible
Yeah.
offering as well. So tell us.
Yeah. So, as a way to really help all of my patients, because I was running a lot of workshops face to face, I've now put them all online. So I've done all the professional filming, all of me in all my Sri Lankan clothes, teaching you all of these sacred knowledge. And there's about 4 parts to each workshop, and they go for about 2.5 hours online. You can do this at your own pace. And the first part will go through the bones of your pelvis, how to activate the bones and the superficial layers of your fascia. We go through Qigong movements as well to activate your organs and move the Qi. I talk a little bit about the metal element. We then go through a womb shamanic healing inside the womb from the places that we activated through the bones and fascia. So it's a really great way to rewire the DNA and the mRNA and clear out trauma. Then we'll go into part two, where we go into the deeper fascia, where we activate the vaginal canal. So then you want to strengthen your libido and you can feel the fire moving through your body. And then we go into the pubis, the sacrum, all of these different activations. And again, we activate the heart, we start to activate the breath flow. And we again go through these different shamanic healings. So there's about 4 parts to this, and we integrate deeper and deeper. The last part, we actually activate the vaginal canal. So I teach you how to feel for inside the tissue, connecting to all of the G spot, cervix, all of those areas, and where there is numbness. So we need to rewire the nervous system to allow the vagus nerve to fully be activated through the cervix. And here you can really feel into which trauma, which memories may be stuck here. So then after that, we go into the last portal of the womb, where we connect to the divine mother. And each workshop has its own symbol that has been downloaded that you can print out and activate through at home by just looking at it. And it's almost like a teacher. It can literally give you knowledge if you start to communicate with it. And with all of the workshops, you have lifetime access. You can pay for one by one, which at $150. Otherwise, you can buy all four for $495 as a special. And then you get 3 videos for free. So you'll get a womb clearing, a moon meditation where it moves through your body, and a yoni manifestation video as well. So it's really, I love it. It's powerful.
Wow.
And
That's so
as
much. It's so
mm,
much. And for a lifetime, like that's just amazing.
Yeah, so that you remember how to do all the exercises, because I want you to when you do those exercises, it grounds you back into your womb, into your base. So you feel this straight away, this structure, this core strength that's activating the womb. And especially it's good when you're always in your head, but also like women get a lot of pelvic issues and a lot of problems as they get older in life too. So it's strengthening all of that tissue and fascia as well. So it's doing a lot of things for you, and really good, to be honest, for all women. Anyone that's got menstrual cycles, to fertility, to after fertility, post birth, to perimenopause, menopause. But also, it's really good not to do it when you're pregnant. So I advise not to do it whilst you're pregnant. Do it after.
Mm.
But yeah, so it's really amazing,
Amazing.
and you
Wow.
can get all of that on my website. Yeah,
Thank you so much. That
yeah.
was my next question. Where can people find you? So your website, I'm going to put it on the show notes, of course. Um, Anywhere else?
Yeah, so if you just go under Dr. _Tarshini, I'm on Instagram, I'm on TikTok, and then you can just go straight onto my website, which is pretty much my full name, drtarshini.com, and you'll get onto my website, and then you can get all the workshops on there, and it will have online workshops. It's really easy to find. And, yeah, that's the best part about it. It's like you can access me on many different social platforms, but I also put up a lot of free content for you. So TikTok and Instagram, I like to really educate you and keep your education up so that you understand and you can really embody, but also understand how things change in each season as well. So I bridge a lot of TCM wisdom into this. And I bring a little bit of Hinduism as well, like a lot of my upbringing being Sri Lankan as well. So it's, a little bit of everything.
Oh, and again, I love it. So hopefully so do my listeners. And if you're not a woman, you should definitely get interested in this too, because it's so powerful. And I think the knowledge should be, you know, well, yeah, made available as you are making it available, but also taken in by everybody, not just like, oh, if I don't have a womb, then this is not for me. No, that's not the case at all. This is for everyone.
Yeah.
And the more awareness, I think, the better. Yeah.
And I think I just want to say as well for women, when you don't heal the trauma in the womb, like, ancestry healing, all of that, the repression of women, their voice, there's so much when we think about our lineage. It will generally move up to the heart next because after menopause, the energy rises into the chest. That's why we get more anxiety, we get high blood pressure, we get higher cholesterol. So I want you to really work on this area of your body. It is the root of love. It is the root of any type of discovery and healing journey that you go to. The womb is the origin of life. You will always return back here. So I'm going to teach you a quick little exercise you can do at home to start connecting to your womb, because I know I taught this last time. And all I want you to do is place your hand, one hand on your heart, one hand on your womb space in your lower belly. Breathe here. And as you're breathing, you start to create the figure eight. So visualize the figure eight moving from these two parts of the body. As you breathe through it, you're cleaning that area. You're creating a stronger connection. And as you're doing that, you might not start to notice any colors that emerge there. Pay attention. What colors are emerging? These are your auric field opening up. And then from there, you're starting to create another figure eight from your womb space to the earth. And pay attention. What color can you see? And from there, you're just pulling up the energy from Mother Earth back into the womb. And as you connect to your womb, then ask her, what is one word that I need to focus on? What is one color she wants you to wear? And what is one vegetable she wants you to eat? Listen to the first word and then write that down.
Mm. Incredible. I was doing it. I can't wait to do it again, to practice this again. Wow. Yeah, seriously. I just love it. Thank you so much for your generosity, your energy, your presence, and your wisdom. Thank you so much. I can't wait to put this episode out there.
Thank you, beautiful. Thank you. I appreciate that.
Thanks.